Let's get some analysis now. And joining us from Hong Kong is Andrew Leung. He's an international and independent China strategist. Welcome to the programme. Your take on the significance of the call and also the timing?
Well, first of all, the significance is that the conversation lasted for 90 minutes. Well, we can talk a lot over a lot of things in 90 minutes, even allowing for translations. But on the other hand, talk is cheap. I think there was an effort to find each other's or to probe each other's red lines, because the reality is that both countries are at loggerheads, as the United States perceive China as the main challenger to its global leadership, to its global dominance, to a Western-led liberal order. And of course, China is, for the first time in history, perhaps, is a country which is non-Western, from an Asian civilization, with a different ideology, and then its economy is fast approaching the United States, and would overtake the United States in not too distant future. So I think that the whole of the United States, a bipartisan consensus, cannot be allowed to happen too soon, and it's in fact to be managed very carefully. And then the fear is somehow that China is embarking on a 100-year marathon to displace the United States, whereas in fact the reality is far from the case, considering the United States' dominance in the military worldwide, and it's the dominance of the US dollar, and then its values and attractiveness of its culture cannot be easily displaced by China. But still, somehow the whole of the United States is seized with this China scare. And then this kind of fear of China is going to translate into actions, and is likely to push competition into confrontation. So I think that it's time on both sides to get used to one another.
Indeed, it's time. And we are at such a critical juncture. What is at stake if these two countries do not find, common ground and agree to have better relations going forward?
Well, I think the immediate consequence would be continuing decoupling and also continuing a fraught relationship and tension. But I think that both sides are nuclear powers, and of course both sides have intercontinental delivery systems. And then that both sides do not want both countries to veer into an Armageddon kind of situation. But I think that if there is no immediate resolution of these conflicts, we're likely to see increasing tension. And then both sides, of course, are aware that they need to be carefully managed. But hopefully, if China's economy has overtaken the United States, perhaps by the year 2030, and it becomes a reality, and then the United States may have got to realize that they somehow have got to share power with China. Because don't forget that even though the West has dominated the world for over a century, in the history, in the world history, China's nation had been the most dominant power for millennium until the 17th or 18th century.
And Andrew, if we look at the significance of this call, as you said, it lasted for 90 minutes. What would you really summarize as the key areas of breakthrough?
I think the key areas is likely to be on the red lines in the South China Sea, on Taiwan, and on human rights, but as well as China's intentions with the Belt and Road. And of course, what's going to happen in Afghanistan and China's method of engagement. And the fear that China somehow is going to take advantage of the situation is going to push the United States entirely out of Central Asia. And I think it all is part of the probing each other on kind of red lines and intentions. But I think that at the end of the day, it takes time for both sides to get used to one another on a number of fronts, and to seek areas of cooperation because with more cooperation, the tension is likely to be reduced, even though the issues will remain still on the table.
Thank you so much. Andrew Leung, speaking to us from Hong Kong. We really appreciate your analysis and your time. Thank you.